Hey, morning, guys. It's Monday morning. So I've had this parts order in the works for a while, and I've been adding to it and taking away from it and adding to it. Anyway, Saturday I finally finalized the order, got it in. I'm waiting for confirmation today. It's Monday morning, and find out when the parts are coming in. But it's not going to hold me up because I've got some things that I still can knock off my list over there. In fact, there's a few things that are done already that could be knocked off the list. I haven't crossed them off yet. And there's one other item, the last item for the dash. I'm going to make that today. Um, so, yeah, I'll show you what that's all about. Anyway, my dash parts are painted. You know, the ashtray cover, I even did the ashtray. So, yeah, that's all good to go. Now, this molding here, I did this in a previous video. It goes up here. But above that is a great big gaping hole that is, come over here in the truck, this up here. So I'm not putting, this thing didn't come with a radio when I got it here, so it's leaving here without a radio as well also. So I got to make some kind of a radio delete plate. Now I can't just put a piece of tin there or whatever, look like hell, so it's gonna have to be fancied up a little bit. So what I was thinking, excuse me, come back out. What I was thinking was, what if I were to use some kind of a badging or Chevrolet script or something, just to fancy it up a bit, because I have a piece of stainless over here. This is like, I'm not sure, 10 gauge maybe. It's about twice as thick as body metal anyway. So I got that. I'll cut the piece out to cover the hole. And then I was looking around, you know, when I was a kid, used to go to the wrecking yard with my dad. And my job was to, you know, grab bulbs and fuses and switches and stuff. Easy to take apart stuff, while my dad went for the bigger stuff. You know, once in a while, one time I scored a set of aluminum Corvette valve covers and pulled them off. The old man thought that was a real cool deal. But anyway, so I'm looking around. At the same time, I used to collect badging off of cars that I thought was cool or caught my eye, and I had lots of them. But I only have a couple of the coffee can fulls left. So I'm looking for like a Chevy bow tie, something like so, you know, maybe up here above on a stainless background, polish it up. This one here was the first one I grabbed, and it's not bad, it's dirty, but the top of it is really pitted. So I can either clean this up and, you know, spray bomb with chrome in a can or something. But it'd be kind of chintzy looking. But then I reached in and I grabbed this beauty. Look at that. It's even kind of period correct. It's stainless. The background is green, which doesn't go with anything on this truck, but I can paint that a different color. I'll probably go with black to match the letters on the Chevrolet trim. So I've got that. It's even got both studs in the back. I've been soaking it with WD for a day or so. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the plate. I'm going to make this up. And then I'm at the top of the plate, like this Chevrolet thing here, will catch the bottom of it. And then I'm going to need some kind of a plate up at the top. I'll make it out of aluminum to match this. And shape it and polish it and everything. And we'll have that to hold in the top. And then the two radio knobs, on off, and the channel selector, there'll also be nuts and bolts there to hold it in. So I'm going to go ahead, cut out my piece of stainless, and we'll get rolling on it. Alright, so I cut out my plate. Number one, this is not stainless, it's aluminum. I thought it was kind of light. So, as you can see, it's going to fit about here. So, I've got a bit of a bend to put in it up top, because the dash is curved. So, I'm going to mark out where the bend is going, and try and get that bend in there, and get it to stick as tight to the dash as I can. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'll mark it out first, and then get on bending. Alright, so here's my rig. I used a long extension in the back so it's not like a sharp bend. It's got something round to ride on. And yeah, I'm going to beat the snot out of it with this dead blow hammer and see if I can bend this without mangling it all to hell. So I'll set up the camera and we'll start beating on it. Okay. Yeah. Try something a little bit different. Oh, the hammer worked better. Well, let's see what we got. So I got pretty lucky, first try. So now I'm going to, what I did have to do is drill another set of holes to move the emblem down because it was sticking up above the curve up here. Now it's sitting nice and flush. So I'm going to make a piece of molding now for the top right here to bolt it down. And then I'll mark out the radial holes. We'll bolt that in, then polish everything up. But yeah, I think that'll look pretty good. All right, so I got a piece of 1/4 inch thick aluminum. I'm going to cut a strip 3/4 of an inch wide. Why do I have a circle of 1/4 inch thick aluminum? I have no idea, but I got one. I need it, so perfect. Okay, I'll finish cutting that. You don't get to hear all that racket. Hopefully my blade holds up. It's my last one. All right, so here's my little trim piece I just cut out. I'll clean up all the edges, but I'm going to bolt it together, and shape the end. So I'm gonna round over this corner on both pieces, and bevel all the edges and clean everything up. Straighten it out. It's a little jagged there. Jigsaw is hard to cut a straight line, but we'll clean it all up. I've got belt sanders and shit like that I can use. And once I get it all shaped and figured out exactly what I'm doing, then it's get it ready to buff on the buffing machine. So when I do go to install it, I'm going to bolt it in from the back and use stainless acorn nuts on the outside, three on the top piece, and one where the radio knobs would be, here and here. And then this bottom lip would be just a little bit of it showing, like so, will be underneath that other molding that holds the speaker grill in place. So it's not going anywhere. And this worked out really good. It just kind of rides right onto it. So, yeah, I think it's going to look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead, drill a few holes, bolt these two pieces together, shape them on the grinder and the sander and whatever, straighten out all the edges, and I'll come back when I'm ready to start buffing things. Okay, so I bolted up my trim to the plate, and I'm going to round out this corner now. I'm just going to use a belt sander. Helps to plug it in. There we go. Now it should work. I'm going to clamp this down. Instead of fighting with it, All right, so now I've cleaned this up. I've gone over it with like a palm sander, dual action dot jobby, and just to clean up the most of the stuff. I'm going to go to finer and finer grit paper until I figure it's ready to buff out. But just rounding the corners and stuff makes a big difference in the overall look of it. So once I get this thing all shined up, or ready to shine up, I'll come back and get the buffing machine going. Okay, so here's my two pieces. Now these have just been sanded with 800 grit, I think. And I'm going to run them on a buffer for a few minutes. See how she looks. I can always go shinier. Just sand it with finer paper and buff it some more. We'll see how it goes. All right, I'll put this together and we'll see what we got. Okay, so I just kind of mocked this up real quick just to get an idea of how it's going to look. I haven't drilled the holes in the dash yet, so it's just sitting there. But I think you'll get the idea. I think it looks pretty good. Not bad. A bunch of junk and some salvage from a wrecking yard. I like it. I'm going to shine it up some more though. You can see a lot of the marks in especially on the flat part of the the thinner stuff. But yeah, we'll sand it up and buff it a little bit more. But you know, for all intents and purposes, the radial delete plate is done. So there we go. Okay, with that, I'm going to knock a few things off the list. I haven't gone to this list for a bit. So, and the furnace starts. So we got finished bolting in the grill. Did that. Radial delete, just did that. Paint the dash pieces, did that a few days ago. And there was one more thing. Paint the garnish moldings. There we go, 4 things done. It's getting there for sure. Once those parts get here, man, we'll be rocking on this thing. So there you go, another one of those little things that was hanging over my head, and it's done. Just by using, you know, stuff I had laying around. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty good. Let me know what you think. If you like the content, you know, please subscribe and tell your buddies and help spread the word and get them to subscribe too. I truly would appreciate it. And you know, like the channel, and don't be shy, leave comments. I'd like to hear your opinion on my fancy schmancy radial delete. I couldn't find one, and whenever I did find one, they were expensive as hell. So I didn't want to put a crappy radio in there or something like that, so put that in. Yeah, so we'll just keep plugging away. My parts order was confirmed late this afternoon, so it should be shipped out tomorrow, possibly here by Friday. We'll see. And you know, if you're not doing anything else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.